Hello, welcome to Me Reading Stuff. I'm Robin. If you're new here, Me Reading Stuff is just what I do sometimes. I get on here, I read you something, I talk about some stuff, and I get the hell out of here. If you're a listener, regular listener, hello and welcome back, and I am sorry. Not that anybody's mad at me or anybody cares. Again, it's just like, what is wrong with me? Well, I think it has something to do with the state of the world, why I haven't been recording regularly. I mean, hello. It's been hard to get through days for me. I'm doing okay health-wise, but I'm just like, it's just, I don't know really what to say other than, hello, we all know this is very hard. And my energy, what little of it I haven't been able to share any of my energy. I don't know. Until recently, I've barely worked on anything in my studio. The only thing I was capable of doing was kind of mindlessly crocheting, making food, eating food, sleeping, feeling bad. I mean, I haven't been, I don't even know. So the other day, I started a 30-day yoga journey, Yoga with Adriene. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. This was recommended to me by my friend Allison, and I needed something to kind of get me going a little bit, and I used to practice yoga very, very seriously, I would say. And I mean, I even went on retreats by myself, and I was there almost every day at yoga class and practice on my own, and had like 5 yoga mats, and not that that means anything, but I was very into it. And then just, things change. And it's one of those things where I never thought I would stop practicing yoga, but I did. And I'm just feeling so lethargic because of the heavy emotions that go along with living right now. And I'm already lethargic as it is. I mean, I was born that way. I'm surprised I didn't come out of my mom like taking a nap. Maybe I did. I do know that I didn't cry when I came out of my mom, so maybe I was just sleeping. That would make sense if you know me. I'm just constantly wanting to sleep. So anyway, I just finished day 3 of my Yoga with Adriene 30-day challenge, and it's going really well. And I will say the last 3 days, I've felt more alive and normal and balanced and, dare I say, happy because of it. So there you go. That's my story. Sorry for the noise. I just feel very hopeful right now that I can actually live through this mess we're all living in without kind of falling apart every day, maybe. Because you got to resign to the fact that this isn't over anytime soon. So there we go. That's what's been going on with me. I just haven't felt like I had anything to share with you guys at all, positive or negative. I've never felt like this. Whatever this is, don't know what this is. I've never felt like this. And not that I'm some sort of badass in my studio, but I will say this is neither here nor there, good or bad. I have no idea. I have never had a lack of motivation, period. End of story in my whole life. If there's one thing about me, I'm very motivated to work all the time. I love working. I love making art. I love being in here. I've never had a problem being bored in my studio or aggravated being in here. But lately, I couldn't get motivated to do anything. And I will say, I'm really making some shitty work right now. I'm making one really good thing, a really good big thing, and I'm struggling with smaller work. Sorry, for those of you who are new, even though this is a kind of a literature poetry podcast, really, I have no credentials to have a literature or poetry podcast whatsoever. I am a visual artist. That's what I do. That's my trade. That's my labor. That's my life. And I just love writers. I love poets, and I read a lot, and I've always wanted to process these things out loud, and I've never really had the chance. So I started this podcast just because I like to read poems out loud to people. And I don't get on here to share criticism. I don't read things I don't like ever. I'm a highly critical person in the realm of artistic expression. I really dislike a lot of art out there, and a lot of writing out there, and a lot of movies out there, and all of the above. But this isn't what I'm doing here. On here, I praise, I love, I adore, and I share. Basically, this is show and tell. This when do they do? By the way, for those of you parents out there, sorry, all my alerts keep coming up. Um, are do kid? Well, obviously, kids aren't in school. Are kids back in school anywhere in the country? I only know Texas, and I only know West Coast. We've got no school going on. So is the whole country's school system also shut down entirely? I don't know. But anyway, do kids do show and tell still? I sure hope so. We did show and tell throughout all of elementary school. I kind of wish it would have lasted all through college too. All right, hold on. I need to have some coffee. I just remembered something as I drank coffee and looked around my studio. Yesterday, um, I finished a drawing that I've been kind of working on and struggling with since 2018. So that made me really happy because I had signed it and thought it was done, signed and dated it. I don't always sign my drawings on the front, but for some reason this one I did. And I looked at it, I'm like, 2018. First of all, that felt like yesterday. When you move from state to state and your whole life changes drastically, you don't really realize how fast things are going. I've almost lived here in Washington State for a year, and I feel brand new to this whole thing. So, anyway, that felt good. I'm sorry to do art talk, but I'm kind of in the swirl of a lot of activity in here. It's all surrounding me. My elbows are sitting on this one drawing. My hand is grazing against another drawing here. My computer's barely able to fit in the midst of all of this. Again, in the midst of a lot of this real shitty drawing that's going on in here. Will I ever get my groove back? I have no idea. What else have I been up to? What have you guys been up to? Tell me what you've been eating. I've been eating, you know what? I gave up sweets. Not like if I had like, roasted potatoes, I might use some ketchup with them or whatever. So additive sugars like that, whatever. I've had to give up dessert because I've become obsessed with it. Like I could not get through, okay, after any dinner, within a half hour, I'm like fiending. Is that the word? Fiending for ice cream, cake, whatever. And we've been making cake like every other day around here and eating the whole thing by ourselves. I mean, it's insane and not okay. So, and it's also not me at all. I mean, if you guys have been listening to the show, for those of you who have been listening to this podcast, I used to hate dessert. I love fruit. I eat fruit every day, but I never really ate dessert. Now, I had some preferences if I were to eat dessert. Like, I loved a basic chocolate chip cookie. My favorite cake is just yellow boxed cake with chocolate frosting. But you'll never catch me eating a cherry upside down surprise cake or a cherry pie or an apple pie. I don't eat that kind of stuff. Um, I do like certain candies. I've always liked like sour candies, shock tarts, sweet tarts, sprees. Not that those kind of things I like. But then recently, as I've brought up with you, I've just been. I think it's it. I think I talk about this all the time on here. Actually, ever since I got a hysterectomy, I don't. I guess it did something hormonally to me where I became a normal person all of a sudden and wanted sweet desserts all the time. So anyway, I gave that up about 4 days ago, right before I started my yoga thing, and I feel a lot better. But man, I'm like, it's really hard to not do that once you. I mean, we all know, right, how addictive sweets are. But anyway, so that's another thing I've been doing. I have watched probably 2,000 Lifetime movies since I last talked to you. Let's see what they are. And by the way, I am going to finish up on Texas part two. You know, when I last recorded, it was a long time ago while the Dallas Art Fair had their fair online. And I did a lot of Texas themed stuff for that. And then I decided I wasn't done and I wanted to do another one. And then I never did it because I'm not doing anything I'm supposed to do until 4 days ago. Anyway, here are the Lifetime. So I am going to finish up. I told you I'd read a Mary Karr poem, and I'm going to still do that in just 1 second. But let me tell you some of the Lifetime movies I've watched. Her Married Lover, that's from '99. Very good, erotic. Very hot lady. Don't remember her name, but when she was a kid, she was a actress, and she was in this movie that I can't remember the exact name, but it's called like Something's Wrong with Amelia or something with Amelia, and she plays. It's such a fucked up movie. She's maybe 14 or 13, and her dad, played by Ted Danson, is molesting her in the movie. And it was a made for TV movie as well. That was an important movie. She won like an Emmy or something. Anyway, Roxanne something. Anyway, this is her as a grown up hot lady, and whoa, it's a really good one. Am I a Serial Killer? Really good, brand new one. Murdered at 17. There's this rich 20-year-old guy. He's very cruel. He designed $1 million app at 18. He dates a young cheerleader. That cheerleader has explosive personality disorder. It's pretty good. Running Away. I don't remember this, except I remember one character was like Nicolas Cage-ish in the kind of insane, nutty way he acted. He was also a molesting dad. He was a molesting stepdad monster who was molesting his teenage stepdaughter, alcoholic girl. I would say it's pretty good, B plus. Mommy Would Never Hurt You. Absolutely insane story. Really highly recommend it. Stalked by My Mother. It was okay. The Wrong Mommy. Amazing. Probably the best one. I've mentioned the Wrong movies on here, haven't I? Vivica A. Fox has a series of movies on Lifetime called The Wrong Movies. So it's The Wrong Mommy, The Wrong Teacher, The Wrong Stepdad, The Wrong Lawn Guy, whatever. I make some of these up, but basically that's what it is. And whoa, man, Eric Roberts is a cameo in The Wrong Mommy, and it is so good. I could go on and on. Lethal Seduction, Newlywed and Dead, A Teacher's Obsession, Cheerleader Nightmare, Deadly Shores, The Wrong Daughter, Sleeping with My Student, Deadly Spot, Lethal Admirer, Anniversary Nightmare, Nanny Seduction, Lethal Soccer Mom, Psycho BFF, The Wrong Tutor, The Wrong Roommate, The Wrong Stepmother, The Wrong Cheerleader, The Cheerleader Escort, Identity Theft of a Cheerleader, The Perfect Soulmate, Appointment for a Killing, From Straight A's to Triple X, Psycho Stripper, Deadly Delusions, He Loves Me, My Mother's Killer Boyfriend. I could go on and on and on. And that was my reading, everybody. Take care. Have a good week. That was a poem, wasn't it? And that's just, so I have a notebook where I write just the title of every Lifetime movie I watch. Anyway, all right, guys. You know what? I got to go get something. I'm going to be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just got a delivery, and when I came back in the house to put it in, I washed my hands, and I was remembering when I used to tell you guys on here that, hey, did you guys hear that you're supposed to every time you wash your hands, you're supposed to wash your hands for 2 minutes? And I had mixed up how long you're supposed to brush your teeth and wash your hands. I mean, I always knew you were supposed to brush your teeth for 2 minutes, but I thought you were also supposed to wash your hands for 2 minutes. And I remember telling you guys to do that. Wash your hands for 2 minutes. And I apologize. I was clearly wrong because even in a pandemic, it's only 30 seconds. But anyway, my hands are a mess. I grew up with this problem that there's no real name for. Like dermatitis, I think, is basically kind of a catch-all phrase, but in between my fingers, and especially when I was most nervous, like if I was living through extra nervousness or something, I would get these itchy, they're kind of bumpy, but not really. It's just like red itchy in between my fingers. And something about washing my hands as much as I've had to lately has also caused that to re-erupt, and it's grossing me out, and it's really painful too. So I'm sure you guys all are, with as much as people are washing their hands, there's a lot of like hand issues out there. So hope your hands are doing okay. I hope your nose is doing okay. I hope your eyeballs are doing okay. I hope your big toes doing okay. I hope all of it's going okay. I was going to say, I don't know how much money this would cost, but if somebody wants to propose, I don't have a lot of money, but if somebody wants to propose what it would cost to go through the history of this podcast, and if somebody's looking for like a little extra money right now, and like make a database of what poems I read and on what date it was, basically like the title of the podcast, the date, and what I read on there. and maybe a description. If there's a description in the description, to copy and paste the description of that podcast. That's basically it, because that usually describes something about it. Let me know at me reading stuff at icloud.com, I think it is the email. Because that would really help me out a lot. Because, like, right now, I don't remember what Mary Karr I've read. I was going to read you guys this Charles Simic poem that I read in bed the other night. Then I'm like, well, did I read that before? And I can never figure out what I've read on here. So I don't know. If somebody's interested in that, reach out and we'll see what we can do. Okay. So let's go with Mary Karr. I have definitely read her on here, but she was born in Texas. She's very Texan in her voice is one of my favorite female voices out there. And being that I lived in Texas for a long time, it's very familiar to me. And she's a real badass, strong woman. So we love her. And she is now, by the way, she teaches at Syracuse University. She's very known not only as a writer, a poet, but a memoirist. And she's a professor of English literature and is kind of the go-to for memoir. And the Liars Club. Liars Club is her book that became very famous. And did it become a movie? I don't even know. But anyway, that's Mary Karr, and I am going to be reading the poem County Fair, and this is from Viper Rum, which is New Directions, 98. All right, and I'll put in the description, I'll put a link so you can go find that for yourself. All right, Mary Karr, County Fair. On the mud road of plodding American bodies, my son wove like an antelope from stall to stall and want to want. I knowed it all. The wind-up killer robot and winged alien, knives hierarchical in a glass case, the blow-up vinyl wolf bobbing from a pilgrim's staff. Lured as I was by the barbecue's black smoke, I got in line. A hog carcass, blistered pink on a spit, made its agonized slow roll. A metaphor, I thought, for anyone ahead of me, the pasty-faced and broad. I half longed for the titanium blade I'd just seen carved like a falcon's claw. Some truth wanted cutting in my neighbor's impermanent flesh, or so my poisoned soul announced, as if scorn for the body politic weren't some outward form of inner scorn, as if I were a fit judge. Lucky my son found the bumper cars. Once I'd hoped only to stand tall enough to drive my own. Now, when the master switch got thrown and sparks skittered overhead in a lightning web, I felt like Frankenstein or some newly powered monster. Plus, the floor was glossy as ice. Even rammed head-on, the rubber bumper bounced you off unhurt and into other folks who didn't mind the jolt, whose faces all broke smiles, in fact. Till the perfect figure eight I'd started out to execute became itself an interruption. One face after another wheeled shining at me from the dark, each bearing the weight of a whole self. What pure vessels we are, I thought, once our skulls shut up in their nasty talk. We drove home past corn at full tassel, colossal silos, a windmill sentinel. Summer was starting. My son's body slumped like a grain sack against mine. My chest was all thunder. On the purple sky in rear view, fireworks unpacked, silver chrysanthemum, another in fuchsia, then plum. Each staccato boom shook the night. My son jerked in his sleep. I prayed hard to keep the frail peace we hurtled through, to want no more than what we had. The road rushed under us. Our lush planet heaved toward day. Inside my hand's flesh, anybody's skeleton gripped the wheel. Oh, there you go. She's good. That's a good one. That is a good one. And again, makes me long for things I never wanted to do before, like a county fair. I would have liked to eat the food at a county fair, but I don't like crowds. But now I have all this weird, it's almost, yeah, it's like when people say they break up with someone and then they want them back or something. That's how I feel about groups of people right now. I never liked them, and now I miss them. So anyway, let me go take another drink of coffee. I don't like to do that on here because I feel like you're like in my throat. because I'm a loud swallower, just like my mom. My mom swallows loudly, and so do I. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I also remembered another reason I wasn't checking in is I had the worst sinus problems going on, which is always fun during anybody who has sinus problems while this is going on. You're like, okay, do I have just my regular sinus problems or am I about to die? And that's how I felt. So that was also another reason. But there's no good excuse. I could always talk to you guys. And hopefully I'll be more normal about it. Okay, guys, remember, buy books. You can still buy books, and you can buy them from great bookstores online. You can buy them from publishers that you believe in. So don't forget to do that to support people. What's your favorite pasta? I'd like to end with some questions. What is your favorite pasta? Maybe you can answer however you want. Pasta noodle? Do you like the ziti? Do you like the spirals? Do you like angel hair? Tell me what it is. I kind of like, they're like pinwheels or wagon wheels. I think that's what my favorite one is. What's your favorite salad topping? Me? Everything you can put on a salad, but I like capers, I would say. Capers. That's what I'm gonna go with. What's your favorite thing about quarantine? And what's your least favorite thing? Who do you miss the most right now? And, what have you been watching on YouTube? Because it seems like you probably are watching. Does everybody watch YouTube, or is this just me who's obsessed with YouTube? I mean, me and 16-year-olds or whatever. What's your favorite app on your phone? What app are you finding you're going to the most these days? I'm on Pinterest. Remember when I got Pinterest and I was really embarrassed? Or did I hated it and then I loved it or something, and now I'm back to loving it. What's your favorite animal? Haven't asked that in a while. What's your favorite sound? And what's your favorite time of the day? And by that I mean specific time. Like, is it 7:51 a.m.? Is it 8:58 p.m.? Mine, I'm gonna go with, I like 10:30 p.m. I think that's always been my favorite time. Frankie? Is that your favorite time? Okay, Frankie's got a favorite time too. Her time is anytime I feed her treats. All right, you guys, that's it. I love you. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're doing okay. I'm thinking about you. I love you. As I just said, I'm going to say it again. I love you. I'm repetitive. I like repeating things. Watch some Lifetime movies. Hug whoever's in your house with you. If there's no one to hug your animal. And if you don't have an animal, make yourself a stuffed animal. All right. Good night. Goodbye. And see you soon.